Back on Sports 225 here at Carter Plantation for the Shaquille O'Neal LSU Life Skills Champs. Still say Champs?
Yes.
Tournament. It's a fundraiser that he does every year, and you hear a lot of stories about guys giving back. This guy does give back every year. He's got this golf tournament here, and for a lot of people, it's still, you know, I went to my high school reunion this summer. Okay, now I don't want to say how many years, but 40, and the guys I hadn't seen, there's some people that I hadn't seen since high school, but they had kept up, you know, the website and everything, and a couple guys, you know, Shaq. I mean, it still means a lot for people, you know, I mean, I know Shaq, and, you know, and I'll tell them a story or two, like, you know, damn it, Shaq, I need more than that. No, seriously, you know, and that's got to make you feel good.
I mean, I just, you know, when you're around good people, you know, one thing about this state, one of the best states ever, just good old down-to-earth people. When you hang around people like that, you have no choice but to become like that. And you know how I was raised, discipline, respect, and you know, just coming here and the people are so hospitable, so generous. I learned that a lot could be accomplished through humor. My dissertation was about the duality of humor and seriousness in leadership styles. I wanted to see which leader was more effective. And during my research, I realized that no one person could be all one way. You have to modulate. For example, like I'm 70% humorous, 30% serious. You're probably 60-40, because you're a serious guy. But you know,
no, I'm not.
The people here have been so nice, so hospitable, and you know, if you do the right thing, you know, good things will happen. And you know, I haven't changed much, and you know, especially when I meet children, I just want to put smiles on their faces and just make people smile, because I am a humorous leader.
Well, and I'll bet your kids have a great time with
you,
too.
Yes, they sure do.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're a softie, actually.
You're
no Sarge.
No, I'm a very, very unorthodox dad, because I'm like 80% their friend or their toy, and then 20% dad. Like, you know, I got good kids. They don't have the same trials and tribulations that I had when I was growing up, but they have more, if that makes sense.
Well, it's different. I mean, they know their dad is Shaq.
Yeah,
you know,
it's different now. So, so they're really good. So we just hang out.
Yeah, you weren't rich or anything growing up. I mean, there were times when you could say you were
rich.
Mentally, no, but you, no, seriously. But there were times when you were a boy, like in New Jersey, where you were a poor kid.
I was a poor kid, but my parents taught me how to be mentally rich. So if you're mentally rich, it's all up here. Whatever you want to accomplish, it's all right there. Like, we didn't have a lot, but I'm telling you, I could take 2 pieces of bread and make the best sandwich ever. It's called a jam sandwich. Take 2 pieces of bread and you jam it together, and you imagine that it's grilled cheese on it. I'm telling you, we didn't have a lot, but those right there were the best meals, because I imagined it in my mind, oh, I'm about to mess this cheeseburger up, even though it wasn't a cheeseburger. So it all starts here.
Domestic sandwich maker. TNT. Shaq retired from the NBA and then went on the TNT pregame, halftime, postgame show with Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and there was times there where you had a hard time getting a word in edgewise.
Well, yeah,
in fact, if I could even say it first, you were very reserved, I think, because you were trying to feel out your place.
Yes, I was trying to fill out my place, but now that I know my role, I know what I have to do. You know, I'm a respectful guy, so I just sit back and listen. But you know, they be in my earpiece. They want me to talk more, but you know how Charles is, a guy that thinks he knows everything. So, but this it'll be much more fun this year.
You can bust out a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm busting out all the way.
I wanted to ask you, because you said about the leaders. Was there anybody specifically you researched who you came up with who was very effective, where humor was the real?
Hershey and Blanchard were the experts, and I read a lot of books, read a lot of material. My favorite book was The 1 Minute Manager, and I got leadership abs, and read a lot of leadership quotes. But Hershey and Blanchard are the foremost experts on leadership for now, until I take that category over.
He told me before, because he's a doctor.
I'm smart. Listen to me now.
What did you come up with? You called yourself the Big Aristotle once. Yes. That was pretty funny. Yeah. What are you calling yourself these days?
The Big Frederick Nietzsche.
The Big Frederick
Yes.
Nietzsche. There's an old Monty Python routine about the philosophy department in Australia. You need to check that out.
Frederick Nietzsche was so advanced that people thought he was crazy.
Oh man, I can't remember where I was going with this. I had things in my head. So what are you doing for exercise?
Nothing.
You're not swimming. You're not running. You're not lifting.
No,
you're just gonna turn to mush.
No, I ain't gonna turn to mush. I'll always take the summers off. So matter of fact, I start working out second week of September. So next week I'll be starting working out. I don't eat a lot of fast food, but every now and then. While I've been here, I've been cheating. So I'm gonna start working out next week. And then when I work out, I'm gonna work out twice a day for like 3 months, and then I'll take 3 months off. So I'm on like a 3 on, 3 off thing.
When you quit, was your body beat up? I mean, I know you had the Achilles.
No, I quit because the Achilles was gone, and then I didn't want to damage the paint job on this historical car. And let me explain it to you.
Please.
I came in shining. Had a few dings, and then I didn't want those. Like my bumper was bruised. I didn't want my bumper to fall off. So when you look at something, I want you to remember it for what it was. Like when a guy goes from averaging 29-15 to 6 and 8, it's not a good story. So I wanted to, keep the story the way it was, and I didn't want to be like those old guys that just play for nothing just to keep playing. I don't have to keep playing. I wanted to do championships. I broke records. I did that. So I actually wanted to go 20 years, but my Achilles wouldn't let me do that. I thought it was a good time to retire and just do something else.
I mean, I think going 19 is unbelievable.
Yeah, and then not only that, when you have something to fall back on, it's much easier. Like a lot of these guys don't have anything to fall back on. Kind of feel sorry for them, but I have a lot to fall back on.
No, that was the good part about,
And guess what? I get to be a professor if I want to. I'm thinking about it.
There's always been this talk about you being a sheriff too, or something.
I'm gonna do that too, but I may become a professor one semester.
I'd come to your class.
I know you would. I have you rolling.
Because 70% humor.
That's
All right,
right.
couple quick basketball questions. You watch the Olympics. Talk from David Stern about not letting going 23 and under in the future. What are your thoughts about that?
David Stern's a brilliant leader. He's done a great job, and sometimes you can't judge talent. The last 10 years, the youngsters haven't made the most great decisions. So based on that, then you could probably say, you know what, they got to be 23. The ones that are 23 and up are showing a little bit more maturity than the ones 23 and younger. So, you have to look and see what he based his decision on. Like a lot of people are not diplomatic. They hear something and they automatically go off. But I'm good enough to be like, okay, why did he say we don't want nobody under 23 coming in? And you have to go back, because in the times we live in now, under 23 is not really making business-minded decisions. So you can look at it on both sides. But however, though, if you got a guy that's real mature and very talented, and he's going to help us get the gold, then you may have to change that. But we have a lot of 23 and up athletes that are great athletes, so we'll be fine for many years to come.
All right, off in the background is Mike Mallett, the man, the myth, the legend, and when he comes in the room, it must mean it's time to almost wrap up, because he's got to get you somewhere else for this golf tournament. What did you think of the Heat real quick with LeBron and that team?
I thought they did a great job. D-Wade did a great job of stepping aside, and great leaders do that at that time. I actually did that for him, and it helped us win a championship. But it was great, and this year is going to be very exciting. There's a lot of teams that look great on paper, so we'll see what happens. I know everyone wants to see the Lakers-Heat matchup in the finals. That's a matchup I would like to see, so we'll see.
All right, I appreciate it. We got to go to break, so I'll leave it to you to tell them we're watching Sports 225, and we got to get out of here.
This is Dr. Shaquille O'Neal. You're watching Sports 225 with Shaquille O'Neal and Lee Feinswag. Not Feinswag, Feinswag. Say it right or get smacked.
We'll be right back.